The next three-dimensional figure that we're going to study are spheres. Today we're going to learn to find the surface area of spheres and the volume of spheres. Example 1. Find the surface area and volume of this sphere. Round to the nearest tenth. Okay, as usual, we're going to start with the formulas. Surface area is 4 pi r squared, and volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay. So we know the radius, so all we have to do is plug it in. Find where the r is, plug it into our calculator, 314.2, and it is rounded to the nearest tenth. And volume, just plug 5 into that formula, enter it into our calculator, and our answer is 523.6 cubic centimeters. And that's all that you have to do on the easy problems like that. In example 2, this one's going to be a little different. On this one, we're asked to find the surface area of the sphere when we're given the volume. Well, in order to use the formulas, we're going to need to know the radius in order to find the surface area. And we know the volume, so if we plug that in to where the V is, solve for R, then we can use the R over here to find the surface area. So let's plug in what we have. 268.1 on the left, equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. Now we need to get rid of everything over here except the r. So first, since we've got this fraction right here, if we multiply this by its inverse, it'll disappear. And if we do that to this side, we have to do it over here. So let's do 3/4 on both sides. These cancel. It leaves us with pi r cubed on this side, and 3/4 times 268.1 is 201.075. I'm not rounding yet, I'll round at the end. Go ahead and keep working with this. Now we need to get rid of the pi, so we're going to divide by pi. And that leaves us with 64 equals r cubed. And I'll assume that you remember how to find the cube root on your calculator. If not, it's math 5. So we take the cube root of 64 to give us r. The cube root of 64 is 4. So now we have r. We can just plug it into the surface area and find that. Again, to the nearest tenth, just plug everything in. Our answer is 201.1, and that is rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, example 3. This time we're given the surface area of sphere O. We want to find the volume of sphere O, rounding to the nearest tenth. Again, start with the formulas. Surface area and volume. We're given the surface area this time, so we're going to substitute that. And this time we can just divide by 4 pi on both sides. That will be 8.4 is equal to r squared, square root both sides, and that gives us 2.9 for r. So now we can just substitute 2.9 into the formula for volume. Enter it in our calculator, and our answer is 102.2 cubic meters. And example 4. This one we're asked to find the surface area and volume of a hemisphere that has a diameter of 9 inches. Round your answer to the nearest tenth. Okay, so formulas. Now, we don't have a separate formula for hemisphere, but we know that a hemisphere is half of a sphere. So if we find a formula for sphere, then we can just cut that in half. So let's use those formulas, surface area and volume. And we're given the diameter here, so we're going to change that to radius. And now we can plug that into our formula. Enter it into our calculator, and our surface area is 254.46 if that was a whole sphere. It's a hemisphere, so we're going to have to cut that in half. And that gives us 127.2. Now, that gives us the outside part of the sphere. But since we made this into a hemisphere, we added this bottom here. So we need to add the area of that to this to give us our final answer. And we know the area of any circle is pi r squared. In this case, r is 4.5, so we plug that in. It gives us 63.2 for the area of the bottom. We add that to the area of the outside. Our final answer is 190.4 square inches. And now we just need to find the volume. Okay, again, the radius, we're given the radius, so we're just going to plug that in into our calculator. Our answer is 381.7 cubic inches. But then, since this is a hemisphere, we're going to cut it in half. So that's 190.9 cubic inches for the volume. And that is how we work with spheres.